You already know what time it is, though. You got your snacks. You got your cuddle buddy. If we don't, I'm gonna give you some time. Time is up. Look. Caution. Contains hot oil and steam. I just made this. You can't really see the steam, but just the cheddar cheese, though. Oh shit! I've never had this one before. If y'all follow me on Twitter, Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram, you know that this joint was coming. And I also got the movie theater. No, is it a movie theater popcorn? I think so. Yeah, it is. Let's do. It looks so goddamn good. All right, let's go. Let's go. Wait. Hold on. Before we even start this reaction, let's do a taste test. No. It's gonna be a long night. All right, let's go. SupTho. The following, I'm not reading that. If you don't got your snacks or cuddle buddy, I'm sorry to say, but you might be fucked.
Sorry if there are any grammatical errors ahead of time. I've never really been good in English.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, this happened when I was in 9th grade. I had matured early, so I received a lot of gross comments in 7th through 9th grade. This kind of made me lose confidence in myself. So instead of being very sociable and outgoing like I used to be, I was shy and awkward.
Me too.
I had 0 friends. Literally 0. So teachers often came up to me and asked me if I was lonely, and just showed interest in me because I seemed depressed or whatever. My English teacher's name was Mr. Z.
Nope.
He had the creepiest blue eyes, and his smile was even creepier. On the first day of school, he asked us all about ourselves, what our favorite subject was, and our names. But he always called on me, even though I never raised my hand. When he asked me, I would speak quietly because everyone stared at me, and it would make him laugh. He used to call me Goodheart.
I just want to say, I hated that shit when I was in school. In any grade, I hated that shit. I hated the shit where if the teacher asked a question, right, and he wanted to know the answer, and I don't raise my hand, obviously I don't know the answer, but there's at least 10 other people that do know the answer. Like, come on. Call on one of them motherfuckers. Don't call on me. Obviously, I don't know. Why would you pick on me? Why would you do that? Why would you embarrass me? This is why nobody fucks with you. Mr. Charles, I'm sorry to call you out, but I'm just saying, like, Mr. Charles, nobody fucks with you. I never did. Don't. Any teachers out there is watching this. I don't know why y'all do this, but don't pick on the person that's not raising their hand in class. Obviously, they don't know the answer. Pick on somebody that does have their hand up, right? And let's get on with the class. Because you're gonna get the answer out of the person that knows the answer way faster way faster than the person that doesn't know the answer. You know, it may take me at least like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes to answer a simple ass question. Because I sucked in high school. I mean, yeah, in high school, but in everything. Not in everything. Chill out. In school, because school wasn't really for me, but that's a whole different thing. But versus you picking on somebody that does know the answer that can get it in 10 seconds versus me getting the answer in 10 minutes. That makes no fucking sense. Just saying, but I'm good. Being.
Towards the middle of the year, I noticed that he started to show me a lot of favoritism.
Oh, no.
If he took away our privileges to go to the bathroom, he would say something like, "Take this to the office," and then whisper, "Go to the restroom if you have to." When we received our progress reports, I would have A's on assignments I had never done. I never told anyone about this because English was a class I had to pass in order to graduate.
Right.
As the school year went on, I started to realize that he never looked at me in the eyes.
Oh.
He would stare at my chest, then my legs,
Oh.
at the floor, and the like. But when he did look at me, he barely blinked, which made me look away instead. It was really awkward. When I first noticed him blatantly staring at my chest, I didn't think much of it at the time, because I'm not very blessed, so guys usually look at my butt instead.
What?
I just figured there was something on my shirt the first few times. Towards the end of...
Hold up. There's a fucking bug right there. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, bro. Like, oh shit. Okay. No, I got it. No, I got it. Adam, get the fuck off me. Go somewhere. Go to sleep. Fuck.
Year, he started asking me to come to his room during lunch so I could help him grade.
No.
When I came to his room, he'd have a movie on, and we'd watch that for my lunch. He didn't have to teach a class after, so he let me skip my class afterwards. One thing I noticed right away was that there were sex scenes in every movie we watched. He'd ask me if I wanted to skip, and I'd shrug because I wanted to try and act mature. It started to happen every day.
I'm sorry to just keep pausing like this, but come on. If I was in your position and you asked me to skip, bitch, yes, I don't know, cause I'm a very blunt person. I would have been like, "Excuse me, Mr. I forgot whatever. I don't know, Mr. Adam. I feel very uncomfortable. Please skip. Please stop looking at me like that. Let's just watch the movie. Because if you look at me like that again, the way you doing, we're gonna have some problems. And you don't want no problems. Please, just stop looking at me like that. We can watch. I don't care. Me and you can be. We can watch the movie. We can watch it. But gotta stop looking at me like that. How you gonna keep looking at me all sexually, and then we're watching a movie that has X number of sex scenes in it, and I'm a little boy. You can't do that. No. Fuck. What, man?
We'd watch a movie every day, which all had very awkward sex scenes. At the end of the school year, we watched our last movie, and this time the scene was very long and detailed.
Obviously.
And it made me feel very awkward.
Why?
He put his hand on my leg gently and laughed. "It'll be over soon."
Like hell it will.
He kept his hand on my leg for the whole thing. Luckily, the bell rang. I left.
You fucking up.
I didn't even say bye. I just bolted out of there. The reason I wrote this is because I saw him at Petco, my job, about a week ago. I didn't think he'd recognize me. I wear glasses now, dyed my hair blonde, and lost a little weight.
He's never gonna forget you.
I was helping one line of people which had about 5 in it, and my coworker was working with a line that had 2. He stood in my line and waited for everyone to finish, even though the other one was completely empty. When I took his things, avoiding eye contact the best I could the whole time, he stared at me. I didn't look up because I didn't want to meet his gaze. Towards the end of the transaction, he started asking me about my life. Did I like my job? How my family was doing? I just gave him short, simple answers while he drilled a hole into my face with his eyes.
He wants...
After we were finished, he smiled and said, "I'll be back again, good heart."
Nope. Nah.
After freshman year, he was no longer a teacher at my school, but I never found out why.
Really? You can't put 2 and 2 together? Really? I figured it out. He wanted the penis.
Hey everyone. I was recently reminded of this story and decided to share my encounter with Mr. Chan. my former violin teacher. I was about maybe 5 years old when my parents decided to follow the typical Chinese stereotype of pushing me to play an instrument. Not just any instrument, though. It had to be the piano or violin. I decided to play violin mainly because every other girl in my family already had piano lessons, so I wanted to try and be a bit different. Since my parents didn't have a great grasp on English, they wanted Chinese-speaking instructors, which made quite a few impractical situations given how rare they were. My first violin teacher didn't perform house visits, so we had to take the train about 40 minutes to see him every week.
Damn.
He was also pretty harsh and had little patience for a scree-scrawing 5-year-old violinist, so my parents and I decided to try and find a new instructor. Enter Mr. Chan, a violinist who I would estimate to be in about his mid-30s. His price was pretty cheap, and he also made house visits, which we were pretty happy about.
Nope.
Mr. Chan was a soft-spoken man, and as a kid, I thought he was the nicest person in the world. Whenever he came by, he would always give me a piece of candy and hugged me when the lesson was over.
That's how it starts.
There would be a few things that he did that made me feel pretty uncomfortable, though.
Which are?
He often looked at me with these smoldering eyes. As a kid, I thought maybe that's just what he looked like, but at times it creeped me out because it felt like he was staring into my soul.
He was.
Also, whenever instructing me, instead of telling me something like, "Now put your finger on the E string," he would just tenderly move it for me.
What?
If there was any opportunity for him to touch me, he would always do it, moving my fingers, adjusting my arms and head for posture.
What?
All these things I brushed off, mainly because I was a kid who never knew any better. After all, he was a great violin teacher, and I legitimately learned a lot from him.
Yeah, I bet you did.
One day, Mr. Chan stopped coming to lessons, and we had to get a new teacher. I cried and threw a huge tantrum because I thought he was the nicest guy ever, and I missed the candies he used to give me.
Wow.
But my parents refused to explain why he left.
They know why.
Years later, when I was 12, my family decided to break the news to me about what happened. Apparently, Mr. Chan got arrested for molesting some of his violin students, other girls that were about my age. I wonder if he charmed them in the same way.
He wanted a dick and a vagina. The deal and the sugar
It
ball.
was the summer between my 7th and 8th grade classes
Alright.
at a private Catholic middle school. I was a weird kid, and I went to the school in the 6th grade so I could be with my best friend growing up, who had gone there for years. I'll call her Janie. Unfortunately, she was a year ahead of me, and I didn't have a lot of friends in my own grade. I would just hang out with her and her friends after school. There was a teacher who had started in my 7th grade year, a friend of the literary teacher who worked there. She was eccentric and fun among a group of otherwise standard Catholic school teachers, so when we all heard her friend was coming to teach, we were all excited to have a new teacher we didn't all hate. I'll call him Mr. Trenchman. He was a chubby guy, maybe in his late 30s. He always had his shirt untucked and his hair disheveled, and a good amount of stubble on his face.
Okay.
He had really youthful brown eyes that made his students feel like he was one of them, and a dry sense of humor that most people ate up after being subjected to the point-blank lessons and lectures from every other teacher in every other class.
Okay.
I didn't even have one class with him, but Janie did. She loved being his student, so trusting her, I thought he must be a pretty cool dude too. In the summer, Jamie told me she was going to help out at a summer camp that he ran. The bus would pick her and the other students up every morning from our school and drop them back off in the evening. She was going for free since she had graduated and was technically a high school student. She and her friends were going to be volunteering as the camp counselors. I was upset. All of the friends I had would be going to his camp every day, And since I wasn't in high school, I couldn't be a counselor. I wouldn't be able to afford to go. Mr. Trenchman took pity on me and told Janie to bring me along for free for the day.
No.
It was a good time. He'd been running the camp for years, and though everyone knew everyone, they were inviting and friendly. I got to hang out with my friends all day, helping Mr. Trenchman and all of the older counselors keep the younger kids under control. He made me a deal. I could come every day and just pay about 20% the price of the camp to cover the food and supplies I'd use. The rest of the 80% would be covered by me helping out. I think he knew I was a little lost, a year behind my friends, but too old to really enjoy the camp from a kid's perspective. So I took the deal and I worked at the camp. It was a great summer. I got close with everyone there like a family. They'd all known Mr. Trenchman for years. He was a little different than he'd been in school, like a grumpy old dad almost, but he clearly loved everyone. The summer ended, and classes were about to start up, when I'd heard that he would not be returning.
Why?
He'd been emailing students, young female students, asking them to meet him at the school.
What?
To help him set up his classroom, then maybe go out afterwards.
To do
maybe
what?
Go back to his place.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure of the extent of these emails, as I never really wanted to know. One of these correspondences had been to Janie. I almost felt betrayed. We told each other everything, and I found out from my mom that she was one of the girls who came forward. I'm not sure what exactly happened next. I remember my friend telling me that he'd told his best friend, the other teacher, that he was sick and he needed help, or he couldn't stop. Something along those lines. All gossip aside, he did end up in the hospital. We're not going to meet again, because he died 2 days later.
Oh, damn.
It was the strangest thing. And the creepiest thing about this whole story happened about a month later. I was over at Janie's house sitting in her room, and she went to the bathroom. She took a while, and I didn't have a cell phone or anything else to occupy me, so I grabbed her notebook.
Oh, shit.
And we both liked to write a lot. We'd write stories and trade them and give feedback, so I didn't feel like I was really intruding. She'd written pages, probably 20 to 25, of a story about her and Mr. Trenchman.
Oh, shit.
First, they flirted. Then they would be sitting too close and she'd notice the look in his eyes. And then he couldn't help himself and he'd pull her into his lap, and they fucked. She wrote stories about her and him fucking.
Maybe I'm missing something? Because half my focus is on this video and the other half is on this delicious ass popcorn. He said they fucked. Right, you heard that, right? You heard that. Like, they fucked. You heard that. Right. Now, in the beginning of this third story, didn't he say, I don't know, maybe I don't know, maybe I missed it or something, but didn't he, because I hope this is not true. I mean, it says 5 true creepy teacher stories, but like, maybe I just misheard it, I don't know. But in the beginning of this third story, didn't he say that they was in the 7th and the 8th grade?
It was the summer between my 7th and 8th grade classes.
Fast forward a little bit. He gets the notebook, reads it. Teacher, and I don't know her name, Jamie, whatever, they fucked. And the reason I did this is because I really hope they didn't. Because you're in the 7th and 8th grade. You gotta be at least, what, like 11, 12, 13 at most. You talking about fucking? What? Come on, B. No. Bruh. Miss, Mr. Chung. Uh, I fucked his whole name up, but I don't give a fuck. He fucking little girls. You don't do that. You don't do, especially not no teacher. What? You, bruh, what the fuck? Oh, okay, okay. That's disgusting.
I didn't read much before I put the notebook down right where I found it. I never mentioned it to her.
What?
I never wanted to ask, and I never wanted to know. Did anything happen before she said something? Was there a possibility she had some part in it herself? So, P.O teacher, we'll never meet again. But ex-best friend, we might. So let's never talk about this again.
Wow. That's crazy. That's nasty.
I'll preface this by saying that I'm now 25 years old, and was 16 when this started happening. It was 2006 in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we had a new English teacher. Her name was Erin McLean.
Nope.
She didn't seem too odd at first, but as my junior year went on, she changed. She started showing up in short skirts and revealing tops, and became very flirtatious with the guys in my class.
No.
One of them was a senior named Sean Powell, whom she was especially flirty with. I'll be honest, me being a 16 or 17-year-old boy and having a 20-something teacher hit on us seemed very sexy to me at the time.
True.
But I wasn't quite aware of the consequences this would bring.
Right.
Sometime in late 2006, I believe, Sean dropped out after his grades plummeted.
Right.
Since he was 18, he had all say in the matter as a legal adult. Erin was still pretty flirtatious with the rest of us, so we tried to carry on like nothing happened. What did happen, however, behind closed doors, is unsettling to think about, even today. Sean moved into a small shed-like building where Erin's husband's band practiced. Her husband, being the nice guy he was, let him stay. After some time, however, Erin and Sean had a developing relationship, which quickly became sexual.
Oh.
After a few months, Eric found out about the whole affair. Long story short, he confronted Erin about it. She insisted on staying with Sean. Her husband was completely devastated, but tried hard for his kids to keep on smiling. However, he soon became enraged about the situation, which finally came out in the worst way. On March 10, 2007, Sean showed up at Erin's house, where Eric answered the door. Sean soon became very angry and started a verbal fight with Eric, which escalated into a call to the police. Sean soon became very angry and started a verbal fight with Eric, which escalated into a call to police. Sean ran into his car but didn't drive away, instead just sitting there. Eric went out to confront him, but this time with a shotgun in hand. According to Eric, he pointed the gun at Sean only as a threat to get him to leave. Then Sean laughed at him, grabbing the gun and accidentally pulling the trigger right in his face. Erin made a call to police after finding the scene, and the cops arrested Eric. Eric was eventually sentenced to 90 days after being found guilty of a much lesser unknown charge. Erin was sentenced to 95 days after finding her guilty of inappropriate conduct. When I found out about this whole thing, I was really shaken. I felt bad for both Eric and Sean. They were both innocent in my opinion, and I feel like Erin was really the one responsible. I'm married now, and when I have kids, I know I'll have this story to teach them about who should be educating them. It's really scary to think about what could happen to them in the future.
I had a sexy teacher in high school. She was
I've lurked on this subreddit for a long time now, and finally made an account to post my story. I don't want to go all the way about my identity, but I will say that this takes place in a small town in Ontario, where I grew up during 7th grade. So me and everyone in my class would have been about 12. Anyway, for the first part of 7th grade, we had a substitute teacher, Mr. I, who was only there until the actual teacher, Mr. C, came back from sick leave due to mental health issues we later found out. Mr. I was great, but he left after the winter break. That was when Mr. C showed up. He was kind of a creep from the start.
Right.
He used to make a lot of little creepy remarks we would let slide.
What?
But eventually it escalated. One encounter I recall was that one day during recess, he tried to get me and a friend, Rachel, to say different words for penis, and would ask us if we were comfortable saying things like that.
Bitch, no.
Now, as young girls, we decided to tell our parents, and they were pissed and called the school, which obviously did nothing about it, because otherwise the rest of this wouldn't have taken place. Fast forward a couple of creepy months. Me and Rachel are in the gymnasium with the rest of our class, about 20 kids. We're doing the gymnastics portion of our gym program. We're halfway through the class, and Rachel gets up and goes to the part of the gym where we would leave our shoes. I turn around to look for her after a bit, and to my surprise, she's standing there across the gym in shock, holding a video camera. At this point, no one else has really noticed, and I hadn't even put 2 and 2 together yet. But what happened next made me clue in pretty damn fast. Mr. C, who was at the time lounging around the gym not really doing anything, sees Rachel with his camera. I swear to God, his face went from not having a care in the world to utter horror in all of a second. He grabbed a soccer ball from a nearby rack and chucked it across the room at Rachel.
Oh no.
In front of over 20 12-year-old kids. It hit her dead in the side of the face. She dropped the camera, screamed, and ran out of the room and into the office. Me and everyone else in the class also ran out of the room in pursuit of her, before Mr. C could do who knows the fuck what else. He grabbed his camera and ran out of the school. I never saw him again. Rachel, who happened to live on the same street as me, has friendly parents who talk to mine occasionally. We later learned they pressed charges, and all that shit. We later learned they pressed charges and everything, and he was convicted of assault on a minor, and also intent to harm minors, or something along those lines. He had been taping our class since he had begun teaching us.
Why?
He had dozens of tapes of our gym classes. He would position the cameras in different places to capture the most revealing angles for whatever it was we would be doing that day. Needless to say, we got our new teacher for the rest of the year, which was kind of awesome at least, because she let us do whatever we wanted pretty much. In hindsight, everything about him seems so menacing now, from accidentally walking into our change rooms to extensive health lessons about sex. What is up, guys? Blue Spooky here, as always. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end of the video. If you guys liked the video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you feel so inclined. If you have any feedback or suggestions for stories you'd like to see, or anything like that, be sure to leave a comment below, because I always read all of the comments. I have a pretty big update for the channel for you guys. So, as you guys probably know, things have been pretty rough lately for the YouTube horror narrator community. Basically, on YouTube, a bunch of advertisers pulled out, and now everybody is getting way less returns on their views and everything like that. So, I wanted to announce that I finally set up a Patreon account where you guys can donate and contribute to the channel if you like. Of course, it's never necessary. None of my content will remain necessary to be paid for or anything like that. basically what Patreon is it's just a tip jar for artists if you feel like supporting them. Of course, if you don't have the money or anything like that, please don't feel like you have to or anything. It's just there for people who want to. So I'll be leaving a link to that in the description of the video, and also probably in a comment with the timestamps for stories for this video. Please give me feedback on what you guys think about that. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I hope it will go over well. And I hope you guys understand why I'm doing that. If you'd like to contact me, or if you have any stories you'd like to send in or that you'd like me to read, please be sure to take a look in the description of the video below. There will be links to all of my social media, including my Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail accounts. Send me a message on any of those, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Sorry.
If you do decide to send in a story, please be sure to include in the header of the email, or whatever you choose to send, what the title of the story is, what the theme of the story is, if it has any, and how you would like to be credited in the description of the video the story appears in. If you're curious about the music used at all in this video, the music is always in the description below, in the order which it appears in the video, and I also leave links to the artists themselves in case you like their music and would like to give them support and check out more of their work.
Right.
And of course, if you have any constructive criticism, please be sure to leave it in the comments below, as I'm always looking for new ways to improve the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Cool. Yeah. Hold on, excuse me, I'm waiting till this video is like completely over, because I am thirsty as hell. I just been eating popcorn, and that shit just like, you eat so much of it, like, you eventually have, it's like, it's just stuck. Pause. But I'll be right back. My lips taste like cheese. Pause. I don't know why I said pause. Okay, so yeah. This video was these teachers are on some other shit, for real. Out of all the teachers I have ever had, and I'm really thinking right now, there's uh, no. I never had a teacher to ever do anything like this, or even come close to it. I've never seen any teachers that I've had, or in my time, like at the schools that I went to, I've never seen teachers act like this. They always kept it professional, but that's just what I've seen. Now, and other students could have said something else completely different, but yeah, I never had a teacher like this before. Um, it's just, I just find it really nasty where like you can have a grown ass teacher. I'm talking like 30s, 40s, flirting, making moves on a little ass boy or girl. Like, come on, bruh. Like, really? Like, come on. That's disgusting. Just don't touch me. That's disgusting. For real. Now, I don't know if if any of you all have ever been in a situation like that, or like experienced, a teacher being that way towards a student, but that is really unnecessary, and it's really uncalled for. I do not know why a broom is in here. But that's besides the point. Now, earlier in this video, I said that I've had one teacher, only one teacher. Wait, was it just one? No. One teacher in high school and like several in college. But the one teacher in high school, bro, she was fine as hell. And she was beautiful from head to toe. I kid you not. And she was thick in all the right places. I'm in like, oh my, I wish I could just paint a picture for you. She had about shoulder length hair, dark. She had brown skin, right? And for some reason, but she knew what she was doing because all females know what they doing when they dress in a certain way. For for some reason, she would more often than not, 9 times out of 10, she would wear something tight. And then she would always. Now I don't know if, cause I'm 24 now. I don't know if she is still at that high school that I went to. Um, because it's been about, yeah, it's been 6 years since I've graduated. I've graduated in 2011. God damn, that seems like a long ass time ago. But she would always wear for like tight clothes. Um, and occasionally she would bend bend over um on a desk, like, okay. Pause on this next movement I'm about to do, because I'm trying to reenact what the type of things she would do. Pause on, this is why I wish I had a female like right here. But this is what she would do. I kid you not, bruh. She would be like she'll like, I don't know, like pretend like this is a table. She would be like this with her back arched. Mind you, did I tell you that she was thick? Come on now. You beautiful, you fine as shit, right? You got long, not long, like medium silk, silky ass hair, right? Um, I don't know if I already said she thick, but I keep, bruh, she was thick as shit. I wanted to, but I couldn't though. I couldn't, mainly because I didn't know how to do it. Because if you like go back, way back, I made a how I lost my virginity or something like that. That was recent though. So in high school, I wouldn't know how to tap that. But the point being, I was very tempted. Now, I don't know if she's ever. You already know what time it is though. You got your snacks. You got your cuddle buddy. If we don't, I'm gonna give you some time. Time is up. Look. Caution, contains hot oil and steam. I just made this. You can't really see the steam, but just the cheddar cheese though. Oh shit. I've never had this one before. If y'all follow me on Twitter, I mean yeah, Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram, you know that this joint was coming. And I also got the movie theater. No, is it a movie theater popcorn? I think so. Yeah, it is. Let's do. You already know what time it is, though. You got your snacks. You got your cuddle buddy. If we don't, I'm gonna give you some time. Time is up. Look. Caution, contains hot oil and steam. I just made this. You can't really see the stain, but just the cheddar cheese though. Oh shit. I've never had this one before. If y'all follow me on Twitter, Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram, you know that this joint was coming. And I also got the movie theater. No, is it a movie theater popcorn? I think so.